Say, you look good. Have you lost weight? Hey, friends, who doesn't love some old school sci-fi? And I found a movie for you that was made just at the tail end of the 1950s, and it's one that you may not have heard of. So this time, we're talking about 12 to the Moon from 1960. Our story goes like this. A spaceship is planning to launch on what will be the first lunar landing, and it's a regular United Nations affair. This ship has an international crew, all of which we're introduced to in a scene just before launch where a narrator rattles off their names and specialties. Also along for the ride, besides the humans, are specimens of Earth life, including this loyal dog and a box of cats. They had to put them in a box because they couldn't be trusted. Now I gotta say, this box looks like it's probably pretty heavy. Not what you'd want on a spaceflight where weight is an important factor. And the cats just take up oxygen and water that the crew needs. I mean, in a crisis, I'm gonna jettison that box. Like, first thing that'd go. I'd keep the dog, though, because the dog would be useful. The cats, not so much. Jettison that thing, and the cats with it. Yeah, let them see how it feels when they're the thing getting knocked off the table. Yeah, Well, anyway, there are geopolitical tensions among the crew and secrets to be revealed. All of this could negatively impact the mission. Of course, on the journey, we have the obligatory scene where the characters discuss mankind's place in the universe. A very typical thing in these kinds of movies. Also very typical, a run-in with meteors. But they make it to the moon, land, and head out to explore. Two of the crew, including this cute Scandinavian chick, wander into a cave and discover it has a breathable atmosphere. Then the pair are astronaut-napped by some off-screen aliens. Our heroes are helpless to rescue the astronaut-napped astronauts. One guy drowns in a lunar quicksand, and another stupidly tries to play with molten rock. So our heroes are in trouble and decide to go back to Earth, but these aliens exert control over their ship, so it can't take off. Our heroes are trapped. The aliens send a message to that effect in this weird language. Now, luckily for this crew, they have this lady with them, who can read this language and interpret it since it's similar to an ancient alphabet she once studied. I kinda like this illuminated display they have going on. The aliens are distrustful of Earthmen and want to study the pair they caught, and this is where the aliens make demands. Now, the sexy chick, I could understand. I'd want her too. But then they demand the crew turn over the cats. Apparently, they're interested in the cats. Well, they're aliens, but that doesn't automatically mean they're smart. The crew is happy to part with these flea-bitten freeloaders and head on back to Earth. Unfortunately, the aliens regret their decision and try to freeze the Earth. Obviously, they wised up and realized the cats were not something they wanted after all. Because who would? Caveat emptor, Mr. Alien. Caveat emptor. Well, it's up to our heroes to save the day. In our cast, we have Ken Clark, who plays the leader of the expedition. He was in Attack of the Giant Leeches, the musical South Pacific, and he played various side characters in some Hercules movies. He was also Mr. Kelso in the Elvis Presley film Love Me Tender. Love me tender, love me true, yeah, I'm curling my lip, yeah. Anthony Dexter is Dr. Vargas. He was in The Phantom Planet, The Story of Mankind, where he played Christopher Columbus, and Fire Maidens of Outer Space. He was also in Thoroughly Modern Millie with Julie Andrews and Mary Tyler Moore. The sexy Scandinavian chick was played by Anna Lisa. Her career was almost exclusively limited to television, but she did appear in another sci-fi movie in 1959, Have Rocket Will Travel, where she co-starred with the Three Stooges. Longtime character actor Francis X. Bushman is here too, as the Secretary General. He was Messalina in the original version of Ben-Hur all the way back in 1925. He was also in The Phantom Planet and The Story of Mankind. He was in Sabrina, The Bad and the Beautiful with Kirk Douglas, and a metric ton of other pictures. Aside from him, Tom Conway is arguably the most famous name here. We've seen him before in Cat People, I Walked with a Zombie, and One Touch of Venus. He was also in Bride of the Gorilla and The She-Creature. He was the brother of George Sanders, and when Sanders got tired of his series of mystery films as the Falcon, he handed the role off to his brother. Conway carried on the series for 10 more films. David Bradley directed 12 to the Moon. He only had a handful of credits, his last picture being They Saved Hitler's Brain. He was also an actor, directing the 1950 version of Julius Caesar, the one with Charlton Heston, which I've covered elsewhere on the channel. He appeared in front of the camera in that one as Brutus. Although a fairly low-budget film shot in a mere 8 days and on a budget of $150,000, 12 to the Moon had one ace in the hole, namely cinematographer John Alton. Like It, The Terror from Beyond Space, it shows just what a good cinematographer could do to help a low-budget picture like this. The ship interiors look great thanks to Alton's clever use of shadows. Later that year, Alton worked on Elmer Gantry, and he had previously worked on the film noirs He Walked by Night, Raw Deal, and The T-Men, as well as classics like The People Against O'Hara, Father's Little Dividend, Cattle Queen of Montana, Tea House of the August Moon, and Birdman of Alcatraz. The aliens are, for the most part, unseen, both as a way to heighten the mystery and suspense about them, but also as a practical cost-saving measure as well. This movie has a scene featuring something that later became a staple on Star Trek, something I think they may have mentioned in the original series, but we never really saw until Star Trek the Motion Picture. Then it became a regular thing in Star Trek, and that is the sonic shower, or here, an ultrasonic shower. The idea being sound waves in combination with water help to scrub your ass clean, but you don't use as much water as a regular shower. That's what it looks like anyway, and it makes sense on a rocket ship with a limited water supply. But it first appeared here, so far as I know. Feel free to let me know down there in the comments if there's a prior iteration of this. I imagine a short story or something might have had a sonic shower. I don't know, so let me know. As rocket ship movies go, 12 to the Moon is alright. Maybe there are too many characters, like why 12 astronauts when 5 or 6 would do? You get the feeling the genre was getting a little tired by the end of the 1950s when this movie was in production, but it still has some entertainment value, proving the rocket ship genre wasn't quite played out yet. The sets look good, mostly thanks to Alton, and it was a fairly unusual approach to this kind of movie. So I'm giving 12 to the Moon 2 paws up. Definitely worth screening if this one is new to you. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next one.